Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. We're starting with an interesting update regarding Helldivers 2. A developer on the official Helldivers 2 Discord responded to somebody mentioning that there should be another crossover. This specific user was saying that there should be a Helldivers 2 and Deep Rock Galactic crossover, and they were saying how interesting that would be. And a developer actually responded to this by simply saying they are in the very early stages of something new. So basically confirming that they are doing some type of new collaboration, not necessarily with Deep Rock Galactic, but that they're working on something new. And the fact that they're saying something new could indicate maybe something different from what we've seen. Previously, they did a crossover with Killzone 2, and that basically added new armor sets, weapons, cosmetics, banners, so on and so forth. And so people have kind of been wondering if we're going to see something similar to that or maybe a different type of crossover. But either way, we can expect to see something of this nature coming to Helldivers 2. Let me know what type of crossover you would like to see. Moving on from that, I want to give just another update regarding Death Stranding 2. We have Kojima over on X once again teasing out this new trailer that he's working on. Now we know that officially there's going to be a PlayStation Presents for Death Stranding 2 on the beach on March 9th. And it does seem like this is going to be a relatively significant one. It seems like we not only are going to get a new trailer, but potentially a release date as well. And so Kojima just says that he's in the final stages of editing the latest trailer. He went back and rewatched the Death Stranding 2 trailer that was released last February, or I think it was actually at the very end of January. And he's basically just kind of, giving us an update on the process he's going through with making his new trailer. And it's actually pretty exciting. We just got this state of play, and I did think it was a good state of play. I thought that there was a lot of games shown that I'm looking forward to playing. Death Stranding 2 was noticeably absent, but it is exciting to know that in just like a couple of weeks, we're going to be getting a pretty significant update for Death Stranding 2. This is one of my most anticipated games, and I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to it as well, so I just wanted to give you this update. Moving on to the next topic, we have a very interesting update regarding the long-rumored God of War remasters. Now, we were covering this all throughout this month because, well, honestly, there was a lot of smoke, and it seemed like if this was real, it was going to show up at the State of Play. It didn't show up at the State of Play, so I mean, I basically gave up on it, and I think many others did as well, but we actually have something interesting letting us know that apparently there is going to be something related to a God of War remaster or potentially a trilogy remaster of some kind happening for the 20th anniversary. Being reported by Push Square, they say God of War will celebrate its 20th anniversary next month as the inaugural game in the storied series first launched on PS2 all the way back on March 22nd, 2005. It's almost certain that Sony will mark the occasion in some way, and some fans believe ports of Kratos' classic Greek escapades could be imminent. Currently, only God of War 3 Remastered can be played on the PS5, with the first two PS2 releases and its PSP counterparts restricted to their original platforms and the PS3 remasters. Writing on Blue Sky, Connected Giant Bomb journalist Jeff Grubb said, quote, "I think that those God of War remaster rumors just jumped the gun a little bit. That stuff will happen closer to the 20th anniversary," end quote. So there are a few ways that Sony could approach this. It could re-release all 4 of the missing games as part of its PS2 and PSP emulation efforts with upscaling and save states. That'd mean they'd likely be available as part of PlayStation Plus Premium. Alternatively, it could be a bundle of all the games together, and they could release them as some kind of remaster collection. While Sony has been criticized for leaning a little too heavily into re-releases as of late, it does make sense to make these original games available on modern hardware. It's especially true when you consider that God of War Ragnarok Valhalla, the free roguelike expansion for the latest game, bridges the gap between Kratos' Greek and Norse sagas. There have also been some rumors that a new God of War may deal with a younger Kratos back in Greece, and so they're just kind of covering everything we heard up till this point. And so the one thing I want to point out here that we do need to potentially prepare ourselves for, and it is quite sad that I actually have to say this, but a lot of people are looking at this and like, oh yeah, of course, we're going to get God of War 2018 Remastered announced. That's obviously the type of remaster that is being referred to here, and that's what we can expect. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, no, that won't happen, that can't happen. It does seem like there is something that's going to be announced around the 20th anniversary for God of War. That is a possibility. I think it would be a huge mistake. I think there would be massive backlash, and I think Sony would honestly be completely foolish to think that the best thing to announce on the 20th anniversary for God of War is a remaster of the 2018 game. But I am also prepared for that to happen. However, I do think what makes so much more sense is to do something with the classic games. We have had multiple rumors, over the course of a few months at this point, claiming that this is something that is, almost done and ready to go, and it's something that Sony's doing and Santa Monica's doing. And so, yeah, we'll just have to continue to be patient and keep an eye on this. But I was ready to give up on it, but I don't know. It depends, I guess, on how reliable you believe Jeff Grubb is. When it comes to stuff with PlayStation, he's been mostly good. He hasn't been 100% on the mark, but, he does seem to be somewhat connected to, what's going on over there at Sony. So, yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. We'll have to see what ends up happening on March 20th. It could end up truly just being something related to PlayStation Plus, like the article mentions here, which would still be cool and very welcome. But I think at this point, all people really truly want is just a way to be able to play all of these games natively on their PlayStation 5, whether that's a remaster collection or not. I think that's the bare minimum that people would like to see. So let me know your thoughts on that. Moving on to the next topic, we have some interesting information, maybe not so interesting information regarding the PS5 Pro, but just something that I thought was worth updating you guys on. Being reported by Push Square again, they say Sony's mid-gen hardware upgrade, the PS5 Pro, enjoyed a similar start to its predecessor, the PS4 Pro, in the United States, but now it has started to fall behind. That's according to Circana analyst Matt Piscatella, who was speaking as part of the January 2025 sales results, which saw the industry slump to a 15% year-over-year decline. It should be noted that the tracking period this year consisted of just 4 weeks compared to the 5 weeks in 2024, which helps explain some of the drop-off. On the subject of the PS5 Pro, he said that it's fallen behind the PS4 Pro's pace launch-aligned. It's always worth remembering, of course, that the PS4 Pro debuted at $400 compared to the PS5 Pro's $700. Even taking into account inflation, that is a gigantic difference. Still, it's likely a situation Sony expected. The manufacturer enjoyed a record-breaking quarter in its latest financial report. The PS5 shipments have surpassed 75 million. Those are impressive numbers, especially when you consider that the firm is clearly putting profits ahead of raw sales these days. So, yeah, this is something that I saw kind of trending somewhat, and it's not really that surprising. I think the more surprising thing was the fact that at the launch of the PS5 Pro, it was pacing with the PS4 Pro. I mean, considering just how much, controversy, I guess we could say, there was around the pricing of it, the no disk drive, I would have thought that it would, from the onset, be behind the PS4 Pro. And so I guess it does make sense. It is a $700 console, significantly more expensive than what the PS4 Pro was. But the big thing here that I think is worth pointing out is that by the time the PS4 Pro came out, not only was it $400, but people were adopting 4K TVs, right? They were really embracing 4K, and this was the console that would output in 4K. And so I think it was just an easy buy for many, many consumers, to whereas I feel like with the PS5 Pro, it's not nearly as easy. Not only is it much more expensive, but the reality is the differences we're seeing are not nearly as significant compared to what we saw from the base PS4 to the PS4 Pro. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to kind of see if we get any actual updates regarding the PS5 Pro and its sales and how it's doing in the future. But as of right now, this is what we're hearing. Moving on to the final topic of the video here, it's about Lost Soul Aside. And this is again being reported by Push Square. They say there's a reason why Lost Soul Aside has become one of the most talked about and reported on indie titles of the past decade. Sony has been there pretty much every step of the way, supporting the one-man team Yang Bing. Detailed in a new interview with IGN, the developer speaks on how they've had the backing of Sony from essentially day one, as far back as 2016. Bing reveals he had a contact within PlayStation at the time who contacted him about the action project and a potential collaboration when the game's original viral announcement was published. This partnership truly began when Bing returned to Shanghai, China at the end of 2016, where an agreement was made with Sony that it would back the title in some form. In more recent years, this partnership became more substantial, especially with the introduction of the China Hero project, which sees Sony offer support and guidance to indie projects that it believes has the most potential. And so, yeah, I just wanted to take a moment to highlight this because this is a game that did show up at the most recent State of Play. And it's just worth noting that, yeah, this is a game that has been in development for almost a decade, and Sony has been supporting it the entire time. They have truly backed Yang Bing here and really believe in this game and saw it through to the end. And so I do hope that this game, finds some momentum when it launches on May 30th. It's a game I'm looking forward to. I think it does actually look very good. So I just wanted to kind of take a moment here to highlight this and make you guys aware of just, how long not only this game has been in development by a single developer, but how long Sony has supported this game and that developer as well. But guys, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.